whether Mediterranean ecosystems, 5 regions are in this red list of ecosystems, and starting from California. No, actually, I think we need a lot of focused attention. Very endangered systems. Yeah. So I don't know if there's really a way we can organize to get engagement of our folks. I'm kind of wearing 2 hats. One is representing IUC and trying to use IUCN as a vehicle for faculty and research to come in, particularly research done on our field, to have some application addressing these problems. And the other hat I'm wearing is CEM, see what we can do that's useful.
So one of the first things is to clarify reference location. Boy, we need reference locations.
That's something to do. Create reference locations.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's dealing with the annual graphic concept how it
Do you know Frank Davis at UCSB? Right up the side. Okay, so you have contacts with some he's in the NRS. I mean, he's one of our NRS resources for outside of this. Oh, really? Together? I see.
What is it? But anyway, so that's the first thing that comes to mind is how to know one. Now, California is sort of the zone in the sense that, that's a problem internally in California, so it's not an interesting, a lot of people what it is that these are the right so one thought is falls behind it.
Not mapped to my knowledge, although I'm not a scientist.
I've never seen it, but I've actually lived in it.
Our system quite obviously is where we got human white families. So we launched that. I was talking to NASA people. Trying to get them interested in there are some, they've done some work.
Just mapping the boundaries.
Oh, no, we haven't mapped the boundaries. Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like
No, at first I was like,
fly
I don't know
over.
where they were.
Oh, yeah. Boundaries. Yeah.
Okay, in fact, in your network, California, you guys probably have address all of the types. I know we're on.
I can give you very close to that. It doesn't have any boundaries. It just has pinpoints of these so that you can see in general where the state jurisdictions are. And then as far as the actual boundary maps, we have them by reserve. So I could, but we don't have any kind of a local, statewide map that shows all of the boundaries we have What are the target populations that geography?
Yeah, but it's also Europeans dropping
Hello, hello, hola, hello.
We're out there.
Por favor, please, one second, un momentito.
I'll get you that map.
Quisiera saber más o menos dónde estamos. Anybody ready to talk about the assessments? ¿Alguien tiene algo que pueda mostrarnos? ¿Sí? Bueno, acérquense por favor un poquito. Please come forward so we can just move on with this. Teníamos un plan originalmente de hacer selección al azar de casos, pero no hay tanta gente al azar como para hacer eso. So there are not so many people in the room to do a random selection of examples. So maybe, I think there are 6 examples, hay 6 ejemplos. Anybody want to tell us about the first one? One volunteer? Voluntario para el primero? Sí, pues hay que asignar. Okay, 1 minute. You? Okay, Rebecca. Please, thank you. You can do the...
Do you want me to just go through criteria by criteria and say?
Lesson learned.
All right. ¿En inglés, en español?
En francés.
Irlandés.
En inglés, está bien.
Okay. So just going through the case study here. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm just going to say what I got for each of these. Under A1, it was endangered. Yeah, okay, good. I'll just read this. So for A1, I got endangered. For A2, I got least concern. And for A3, I got critically endangered. For B1, there wasn't enough information. It was data deficient. B2 would have been least concern. And B3, I didn't see in the table anywhere a mention of the number of locations. So, data deficient. C1 was vulnerable. C2 would be, where am I, data deficient. And C3 was critically endangered. And there was no information for D, so that was data deficient all around. No quantitative analysis has been conducted, so it was also data deficient. So I would list this as critically endangered under A3 and C3.
De acuerdo? Anyone want to contest it? Okay, excellent. ¿Quién tiene el número 5? 5. 5. Who has number 5? ¿Tú? ¿Quién tiene el número 4? 4. 4. 2. 2. Okay, there we go. Próximo, next. Okay, número 7, 7. Okay, volunteers then. 8. 8.
We did the seagrass mangroves of southern Australia. It came out as endangered on both A1. I don't think I need a microphone. Je m'excuse.
For loudness.
Loudness, you're okay.
Yeah, we did the Australian seagrass meadows. It came out endangered on 2 criteria. One is evidence for decline. The other one was evidence of degradation of the biotic component of the area. Several of them we had either data deficient or least concern for. We had time for a bit of a discussion about the criteria and how they applied. There are challenges to using some of these in linear habitats, like intertidal systems and coastal seagrass beds, which are only a few meters wide. At the other extreme in the ocean, there will be challenges in the big pelagic ecosystems, where spatial scales of 10 square kilometers aren't even relevant to any of the system dynamics. And these are areas that we hope we can get teams to work on in the near future.
Muchas gracias. Voy a usar mi influencia. ¿Ustedes no quieren cortar la mano? Frank.
Habíamos hecho un documento de ciénagas de Alemania.
Ok, micrófono. A ver. Nadie lo ha hecho.
Pero no colocamos datos aquí.
Ah, no está listo. Not ready. Well, anybody else? Ok, seguimos entonces. La idea era hacer una abreboca, una primera aproximación a las categorías y criterios, que sin duda que habrá muchas oportunidades para seguir haciendo, para seguir discutiendo y explorándolas. Pero recuerden visitar el sitio web y las diferentes herramientas para hacer las evaluaciones, y quisiera dejarlo al final con Ed Pablo, que está por allá, que va a hablarnos un poquito de los próximos pasos y los diferentes eventos que vamos a tener durante el resto del día de hoy.
One small thing for those of you who stayed, just to let you know There is an event after this from 1 until 2:30 at the Just World Pavilion. And we're going to offer sandwiches there and a few little bitings. So there's a little bit of a carrot in front of the Red List of Ecosystems stick, if you will. So you're all very welcome to that. We're actually going to explore and discuss with you how we can potentially use the Red List of Ecosystems at whatever scale. Now, just want to give you some of our sort of next steps plans now. We're being mildly ambitious. We have got, as Jean-Paul mentioned, some resources from the Moore Foundation to work in the Americas, and it's lovely to see the work that NatureServe and others are already doing. David Keith is working on a proposal with the Australian Research Council, and is going to be, and if anybody here has an extra few bob to spare, we can use that for leverage. I'm working sort of to complement what Taibu is working on with our Western Central African regional office, to try and do start a similar process in Eastern and Southern Africa. Then next year, we expect to have a second phase to our MAVA funding. MAVA Foundation has been really great, and I think John Paul and ourselves are saying, thank you very much for being so flexible, MAVA. It's allowed us to get to this sort of stage. And the next phase of the MAVA Foundation funding, we will try to, A, test the Red List criteria in other systems. Perhaps more importantly, try and see how they link into other sorts of knowledge products, which I'd like to mention a bit more at the moment. And somebody will come to me and probably saying to John Paul, says, Ed, where's the Red List? Is it not ready yet? I said, excuse me, it's going to take a few years. And it's going to require a few dollars. So, this is the Irish understatement. There's two broad strategies. We do hope to, by 2020, 2025, to have that global assessment there. Now, but we then want to support, particularly at the national and also the regional level, recognizing shared ecosystems, more red listing at that level. And clearly, we hope that they will talk to each other through a nesting of ecosystems, but equally that we can focus on, at the level that the country needs, or even, as they have done in Senegal, what a district might require. We're going to be putting in I call it a Trojan horse now. We'll be putting in a staff member for IUCN to work on the Red List of Ecosystems based in our Cambridge office, which is where the Red List of Species is housed, and we'll also have a 50% of a person working in Blonde as well to support me. We already have a task force, some of them we've already met, and that is going to be evolving, and we hope that they will be available to support country groups, rather like we've piloted in Senegal, to actually do the work on the ground. And one of the other benefits, we want to make sure we're building capacity at a national level or at a regional level. So it's not, the knowledge is not just going to reside in John Paul's, David, myself, and others' heads. So it's going to be out there in the field with Taibu and Mariam in the Centre Suivi Écologique in Senegal. Anything we put up on our website, it's going to be in 3 languages. Anything we publish in learned journals like Conservation Biology or wherever, it's going to be freely available. You won't have to go and click, pay $20. We're insisting that anything we publish is freely available. In fact, that's an IUCN policy, and it's public knowledge as far as we're concerned. We had a very useful meeting, I can't even remember now, 2 days ago was it? 2 days ago, on integration of IUCN knowledge products. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because it actually is quite useful. Yep. One thing we've already been challenged by the species people is quality control. And clearly we have to address that. We will have a we do already have a starting up peer review process. but it will become more concrete as sort of a peer review group who would review documents, case studies, and so forth. We'd also eventually have something like the red list of species have a petitions, petitions and what? Standards of petitions here. I know David's on that already. A group for ecosystems. So there will be a means for recourse, just like the species have. Some of a few lessons coming out quickly, and I know Tyler didn't have time to summarize it, but basically if we have the remote sensing data, this can be done reasonably quickly. And I've just learned, for example, in Africa, the US Geological Service are about to launch an ecosystem map process for Africa. For example, Senegal, just a very quick estimate, 2 workshops, one at the start, training, one at the end, to do the assessment.